and welcome to another episode of In the Pod. Today we have the remarkable Joanne Philip, and she's going to tell us her amazing journey and how this whole Smile Stories has come about. So Joanne, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Firstly, thank you for being here. It was amazing to meet you, and thank you for agreeing to be on our podcast.
Thanks for that, Marlene. And yeah, it's an exciting journey to start off with the Smile Bar. And I'm so excited about being part of the Smile Stories because I definitely have a story to tell. So I'm a lawyer in private practice. I've been in practice for about 20 years now. And I think my greatest achievement has been being a mom of Alessa, who's 3 years old now. And so my husband and I actually run a practice in Durban. And I'm also a mentor, a public speaker, and also an advocate for reproductive well-being.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you. I know you're a very busy woman, so thank you for being here. Joanna, so I think the thing that really stood out for us or really touched our hearts was your journey and this long 15-year journey that you've been on. But not just the fact that you've been on this journey, the positivity and the outward the things that you have now learned and grown from there. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about that and how, thank you for being so vulnerable firstly, and how you've grown through this vulnerability through your story.
Thanks for that. Yeah, so Marlene, it's been a 15-year journey. And I think a lot of people that have been on journeys have been on long ones, but I must say 15 years has been a long time. And for me, it's about, through the journey, it was about the becoming, the mom that I am now, and overcoming the infertility to get to where I am. And I've said to many people that through the journey, I cried in private and I smiled in public. And that's what I was required to do. Had to show up, and both my husband and I had to show up and put on a smile and to make everyone around us feel like it's going to be okay. It was a journey that I chose to be vocal about. I believed right from the start that I had a right in this journey, that I had to make myself important through the journey, and that my journey had a purpose. And so I was always willing to share the stories along the journey. It was a difficult one. It was one that was filled with a lot of pain, a lot of hope, and hope faded in and out. You know, I had times where I had like just so much of hope.
Yes.
And then times where it just really dimmed out.
Because 15 years is a long time. And so what really pulled you through that time? What was like your source of strength?
So I think a lot of it has been my journey of faith. My faith had been a very, very important part of getting me through. I understood that this was a promise and that I was going to see it through. And it was the community around me. It was the people that supported me along the journey. And because I was willing to be vulnerable about it, people came along the journey with me. So I didn't feel alone. And I had an amazing husband along the journey.
Yes. And was there any point within that journey, did you ever feel, okay, I should just give up, you know, it's fine, I've got my health, I've got my husband, could be enough? Was there a point, any breaking points? Or?
Yes, I think for me, the lawyer in me had decided that 40 was going to be the D-Day. Okay. So I had all the science there and this legal brain operating, and no doubt there was this faith. But at 40, I thought, okay, so that's the end of the story. This is how the story ends. And lo and behold, I found out I was pregnant in December, and the month I was turning 41. So for me, I had almost put a deadline to it, yeah.
And Joanne, tell me about what do you do? Obviously, you're a very confident woman. You come across, you're a lawyer. You have so many different, you're a public speaker. For you, what does confidence mean?
So I think it's a process, and it's growing in it. Being an attorney, I think has put me in an environment that, even though the legal fraternity has somewhat transformed, there are definitely spaces where it's still a man's world. And so just the constant, yes, and it's the constant becoming a better version of who you are. And so that's the confidence journey. It's just about being able to confront those challenges and grow along the way. So I think being in that environment, it tests you. And so you've got to own your seat at the table, and you've got to own your place in the room.
Can you tell me, when do you feel the most confident?
I think that is when I'm litigating.
Are you suited up?
Yes, when I'm suited up, and I think it's like, you know, in the legal fraternity, you put on a gown and then you take on a persona. And I think it really is that. When I am, and my husband often says that, you know, this is trial mode.
Yes, yes.
This is Joanne in trial mode. So when I'm in that space of litigation, yeah, I think I'm completely different to...
And now, just interesting, because your husband's also a lawyer.
Yes.
And now, what are arguments at home like? Please tell us.
Oh my word, yeah. So arguments definitely happen. I think both being lawyers, at least it doesn't get too tricky.
Okay.
But yeah.
You both provide evidence.
Yeah, I think I still let him believe that he's won the argument, because that's the best way. I've learned as a lawyer how to be strategic. So I make those moves. But yeah, I think it's no different to anyone else. But sometimes I think we're a little bit more legalistic.
It's always interesting to find out what happens behind closed doors, hey? So you've obviously been to the Smile Bar. You've had the experience here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so when I experienced the Smile Bar for the first time, I was introduced to something that I believed was going to be an aesthetic procedure. So the idea was to have teeth brightening, teeth whitening. But I understood, I think after the procedure, just stepping out, just feeling like I was a better version of who I was before I came in, for me, was the significance of the process. So even though I might not have achieved results that other people would have retrieved, like having paper white teeth, it was just that boost in confidence. It was the step that I had taken to be able to get me to be a better version of who I am. And that's really why this is so important. It's about being able to see aesthetics in a way that is non-judgmental. It's not in a way where we see aesthetics as being false and fake, but just an opportunity for somebody to use a treatment like that to find some sort of healing in their own journey, in their own process. I say that, you know, if I had the Smile Bar while I'd been through my journey, I would most probably wanted to have brightened up that smile a few times.
Yeah.
But I'm at the end of the journey, I've overcome, and so now I can show off this brilliant smile having overcome the journey. So I think that's why Smile Stories is so significant. It's the story behind the smile, behind the process.
Joanne, thank you for that. And I think you've hit a really important point. And it's also because aesthetic treatments are not just always superficial. It's not about this person wanting to look like something different. And here at the Smile Bar, we very much, you know, trying to promote this being the best version of yourself. And I think you said it so eloquently. It really is about enhancing who you are, and whether it's healing or overcoming or just, you know, putting your best foot forward, whether it's in your career, in your personal life, it is so much deeper. A smile is so much more than just aesthetic.
Absolutely. And I think it's just being able to understand the story behind that smile rather than just judging somebody for the process. So I believe that the smile will be able to give you the confidence that you need. And it's amazing, you know, it's Women's Month and we're having this conversation, but the reality is that we face so many challenges, and sometimes it's just that smile becomes the tool of the trade. It's something that you need in order to walk into that boardroom, to step into that presentation, you know, to face the next day. So yeah, I think there's so much more substance behind the procedure rather than just saying somebody is trying to be someone they're not.
Yeah. And what do you think in terms of, obviously these are physical attributions that you can start to enhance, but how does these physical enhancements also help on a deeper level?
Yeah, I think, you know, we're often talking about self-care and self-love, and that's a healing process from the inside. It's being able to value who you are, to be able to say, I'm worth it. And so I think that's really the crux of it, to be able to, when you take the step, to be able to do that. Yes, there is a physical result that you see, and it is a result that enhances your beauty and enhances the way you present yourself. But I think it also reinforces that I'm worthy, you know, there is value, and I'm able to love myself enough to be able to be the best that I can be.
No, that's some powerful stuff. And I wanted to talk a bit about imposter syndrome. And I know we all experience it. I think more being female, being non-white female, you know, there's so much of that going on in every industry. So do you want to talk about kind of how do you feel imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
And what do you do to try and overcome it?
Yeah, I think as brown girls, I mean, we must accept
Yes.
that we've come from various different backgrounds. And so a lot of the exposure that we're having today, even the smile bar for brown girls might be imposter syndrome. Can I actually walk in here and have this treatment done? And so, yeah, I think we, in various social and work settings, we do encounter those positions that we think, maybe I don't belong here. But I think, you know, for me, it's always been about being just willing to take that step and to figure it out. And and sometimes I realize, okay, I'm meant to be here, and sometimes I'm not. But I'm also happy in that place.
But at least you tried.
Yeah, at least, and I'm happy in that place. So I think it's not for everyone, but it's being able to just know that you can step into it.
And I think what's nice, I wanted to talk about our partnership, so the Smile Bar and the Pencil Club, and how it's almost, I feel it's such a beautiful synergy, and it's almost like an organic partnership. It's now grown. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about, or explain how it's come about?
Yeah, so we're excited from the Pencil. I'm leading the health and wellness space at the moment, so this partnership is very significant for me. But the Pencil is not just a club. The Pencil is about people. It's about coming along a journey with people and having those journeys intersect. You know, in the Pencil, we talk about changing the narrative. It's about connecting the curious and then inspiring the connected. And I think that's really the synergy between the Smile Bar and the Pencil, because what we're going to be doing when we're telling the smile stories is we're changing the narrative. We're changing the narrative around aesthetics. We're removing the stigma that is attached to it. And we're allowing women just to own this process, to be able to say, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to be judged by it, because this is me believing that I could be the best version of myself. Absolutely, and I'm so worth it. And you know, women judge women, unfortunately. So what is great about this journey is that we have so many platforms where women are able to come and start this conversation. And so we're looking forward to demystifying this area and just removing that stigma.
No, I think that's amazing. And we're very excited from our side. We really want to also promote, you know, not just health and wellness, but it's so much more than, like I said, a superficial smile. It's not just about teeth whitening. It's what that smile can do for you and do for, well, males, females, anybody.
Absolutely.
And just taking it back, taking it further into these smile stories and really hearing and engaging and connecting with people. And talking about how much a good smile and how far that can take them and what that does for them in every aspect of their lives. So we're very excited about that. So I think that rounds up our episode today. So thank you very much for joining us. Joanne, always a pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you for the time. It's been awesome. And we are excited to continue the journey of hearing the stories.
So watch this space because we have a lot of exciting things coming up. Thank you very much.